We started ethical hacking properly, as far as I know, last class, because that is where we started looking at the topic, setting up virtual what? Lab. And I told us that we started by knowing what is virtualization, right? Which we summarize as creating computer images online, in a simple way of explaining what virtualization is. And we also said that virtualization is like you installing or creating a computer on what? A virtual computer on the physical computer. So you have this as your physical computer, and we are creating other computers virtually on this what? Physical computer. So I said there must be a hosting operating system, which is the Windows 11 that my system is currently running. So in my Windows 11, I am hosting a virtual box. The virtual box is a player. What do I mean by a virtual box being the player? In other words, is the one that is housing all the virtual what? Machines. Now, this virtual machine that we install in VirtualBox has approved a platform to practice ethical hacking. I told us before, for the sake of our brothers that just joined, practicing ethical hacking or learning ethical hacking, you are not supposed to use real machine to learn. We are constrained to practice within an environment, and that environment is within the virtual box. So this software that is showing on the screen is called what? A virtual what? Box. So all the devices, there are two types of machines that are to be installed in this virtual box. And we are going to be looking at why are we installing these two categories of what? Machines in the virtual box. We have the hacking machine, which is to be installed in the virtual box. That is the machine that you will use to launch all the what? The attack. That is the machine that we use to penetrate into what? The target machine. So which means that we are going to install what? A hacking virtual what? Machine, and also install what? The targeted what? Virtual machines. And all of these machines are to be installed within which environment? The virtual box. And I pointed out the reason why the practice says we should practice it like this. That we save ourselves the risk, if you are in the last class, why you are to practice ethical hacking within a virtual box is that we save ourselves from the risk of what? No? The risk of wiping all our what? File. So which means that if you tend to practice this outside this parameter, which is what? The virtual box, using your direct computer, you might run a code that will wipe out what? All your important what? File. Why? Because at that point, you are doing trial by error. You are still practicing. You are not yet a professional that knows what to launch precisely. So you might launch a wrong command that might lead to what? Deleting everything on your system. That is one benefit of you practicing ethical hacking within the virtual what? Box or the player. Another one is that it saves us from legal what? Implication. See, if we, this is NIT as our disclaimer now, if we come out openly and tell the world that we are teaching people how to hack, And we now went further to describe the type of hacking we are teaching people. Remember that we have how many types of hacking? We have black hat hacking. These are the bad guys, right? People who use their skill for bad things. But NIT is training students so that they can have all the necessary skill to defend what? System. So at the end of the day, organizations will employ you. Now you know the ways of the bad guys. You know how they operate, so you can prevent them from what? Gaining access to the company what? Sensitive domains or data. So that is one thing that we are saving ourselves from. Because remember when we started, I said you should go and research on what? Global laws that guide our operation. There are parameters we should not go beyond when you are practicing. For example, now, I shouldn't use Mr. B phone to practice hacking. It's against the law. Except Mr. B what? Duly what? Permit me. If he permits me, no problem. But if he does not, there is a problem. It's against the rule. So that is one of the reasons why we have a virtual boss, which is the player. So if we are to define in a practical term, what is a virtual boss? Or in a technical term, I can simply say a virtual boss is a platform, is an application that allows me to set up what? Virtual what? Hacking lab. That is, in it, I can create what? Images of what? Computer that I want to use to do the hacking and the ones I want to what? Hack. And that was what led to what? Linus Installation, which we stopped halfway. You know, we started installing what? Linus. What is Linus? I told you that what? Linus is an operating system. Is a version of Linus. Linus is the main what? Operating system. So when you say Kali, you're talking about what? The version of it. So there are other versions. We have Ubuntu. There are a lot of them. So why are we installing the Linus? Can anybody tell us the reason why you are installing Linus virtual machine as part of what you need for practicing ethical hacking?
Because most people hacking come with all the hacking.
Because it does what?
Because it's more suitable for hacking.
Okay, it is more suitable for what? Hacking. Is that yes?
It comes with all the hacking.
It comes with what? All the hacking what? Tools you need. Okay? So that is 80 over 100. We try. Let me hear your own version. Okay, its own security features are stronger than what? The Windows, right? That's just like you are using a higher force to break into what? The lower what? Force. Okay. Now, but there is a single meaning or why we are using Linus, which I mentioned in that class. I said is the hacker. Linus is what? Is the hacking what? Machine. Is to penetrate. So we have started the installation. What we have done so far, we have defined the name of what? The virtual hacking machine to be what? Kali in this case. And then we have also set up the network in the last class, right? Yes. And then which other thing again? We have also called in the digital software. We have already called it, but we have not initialized it. I gave us an example that if you want to install an operating system, which is Windows 11, when you put the CD, it will first of all copy the file. If you're an engineer, it will copy all the file into what? The local disk. Then and tell them, okay, now those files that I've copied, I want to start using them to what? To install it, so that when you remove the CD, you still have what? The software in the local what? Disk. So what we did last time that we went to, remember we right-click on it, right? If I could just go through it briefly. We right-click on it and then we selected what? Setting. So from setting, we went to what? Storage, if you remember, right? And then this place was empty. Then we selected that empty And that prompted us what? This CD icon, right? That took us to where we have the software, the installation software in our system. And then after that, we did another thing under what? Network, right? Under network, we choose what? NAS. And then we also said that we have other what? Version, but due to some constraint, we ended up what? Choosing what? NAS. Now, after that, you can see the analysis of what and what you have configured in the Kali. I can see that I have my optical what? Drive software here with how many space? 4 what? 4 gigabytes, sorry, 4.07 what? Gigabyte. So the area we are focusing on today is initializing / installation of the Kali right now. Initializing / the installation of the Kali. So somebody should help our brother to know how many pages is to leave so that you can, or you can just write it. Okay, don't worry, don't worry. Initializing / what? Installation of what? The Kali. So, but the fact that you are seeing the Kali here does not mean that you have installed it. That is what I want us to know. What you have done so far, I remember in that class, I said installation and what? Set up what? Hacking lab, right? Now, to install the Kali in the virtual bus, observe the following steps. 1, to install the Kali in the virtual bus, observe the following steps. Observe the following steps. Observe the following steps. Please, I'm going to be very slow because this is the only thing I want to achieve. I told you that setting up this virtual hacking lab can take 2 to 3 weeks. The other class will spend a month. So it's not an aspect of this program you rush. Because when a company wants to employ you, if nobody has been employed before you coming in, it becomes your what? To do what? So I don't want anybody to hurry me. I want to make sure that everybody understands this aspect very well. So step number 1, select the Kali machine and click on Start. Select the Kali machine and click on Start. Select the Kali machine and click on Start. So I want you to do the same thing quickly. You can see that I have not, look at the way I'm selecting my Start. Look up. It's not just clicking here and just selecting this Start icon. Yes, it can do it. But because you are learning, so that you will not know the one you are, so you know exactly which of the options you are picking. Because there's a drop down, which means that what? There are options. So that I don't mistakenly what? Select any of these. So you click on this. So everybody, let's do that. Select, click on the machine, then click on Start. Then I watch. Just quickly do that and stay on my screen.
Just start out using normal start.
Normal Start. That option. Now, I want us to watch together. Let's see on the screen. If you are using your own to follow, fine. So what is starting the machine. Now watch what is happening. Good. It will bring you to this place. You select the option that says what? Install. So that it will not blow those grammar that somebody's system was blowing the other time. Kali, 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 Kali. Because while you are hearing those grammar, because you continue with what? Graphical what? Installation. Graphical installation is just like giving you a more user interface to go through while you are installing. But I want command prompt interface, because command prompt interface will go through the entire what? Steps involved. The other one will be telling you, okay, click here, do this. That's why we are hearing that sound. You can not only follow it, but to me, it will take longer time. So this is the best one. So select what? Install out of the prompted options. You wait. It has not launched. If it has launched, you should see this. You have already. If you wait for too long, it will continue with the first option. That's why I quickly move to install to pause that process. You have already entered that option. Shut it down and start again. So once you get to this interface, quickly shift to install. Use your down arrow button to move from graphical install to what? Just install. Just to interrupt it going ahead with the first option. Okay, this is, the way all those security personnel used to speak now with their walking talking. So that's what you are hearing now. So there's Kali speaking to somebody. Just close the virtual box and start again so that you can follow it. Okay. Press enter. Let me see whether, okay. Yes. Let's see. Now that I've closed a virtual box that you are now open. So let me just start mine again. For those of you that are not open, just remain where you are, please. I'll tell you which of the options to pick. Okay, so my honors. So this is where you are, right? Okay. So now, Ngozi, are you there? Okay. Now, these are different languages that you can use to install what? The machine. So you make sure that it's on English, but in case you understand any other language, then no problem. You just select it. Arabic, if you can speak Arabic, but so which means that what? Your next step is what? Choose a language. That is where we are now. Choose a language. So each year we are considering English. Choose a language. So which means that Kali can speak all of these languages. So once you are done writing, I want you to see. So you press enter. You press enter. Press enter now. If you are there, press enter. That will take us to another interface where we have to choose location. So your next step is what? Choose location. Your next step is choose location. Are we together? Choose location. Now we have different locations here. If you scroll down, you might find Nigeria. But let us work with what? United what? States. It's just a criteria for installation. So now you press enter also. Then it will now ask you to choose. Now we are at configuration, like keyboard configuration, right? Choose keyboard configuration. That is where we are now. Choose keyboard configuration. Even your phone has different keyboard configuration. If you choose UK keyboard now, the keyboard will change, right? So this one is just to define the structure of the keyboard. Now, let's go with what? American English. So that it doesn't bring out different language. American English. So press enter and then you wait. So you notice that what? It will start scanning your additional components. So what it's doing right now is trying to assess the system, make sure that you are seeing what my own system is displaying as we proceed. So you always read the title of the operation going on. What is this saying? Loading what? Additional components. So right now it's trying to bring things into what? Trying to copy the file. Is trying to initiate the digital installation file in your virtual box to commit all those applications. So you wait, just keep monitoring what is happening per time. Just wait, just wait, just wait. Just monitor my screen if your own is further than mine. Now, you can see it now. This is where we are now. Configure what? The network. So you read. Let's take some time to read through. Before you take any step, try to understand what that step entails. You also read that for everybody to hear. The host name is a what? A single word. Don't go and say Prosper Eloho. It's what? One word. The host name is a single word that identifies your what? Your system to the network. If you don't know what your host name should be, consult your network what? Administrator. In this case now, I am your what? Network what? Administrator. So if you are working in a company like bank that have already set up what? Network, so that it will align, you ask, what is our network what? Host name. So what we have here is what? Is VBoss, but mine, all this information, open a notebook and be documenting this because we need them when we start practicing. So I want to open a notebook and capture all the necessary information that I am going to use during the installation. So the same thing, either your phone, find somewhere to document it. Your host name, you write it, whatever you are going to use, because when we start running some script, it will ask you, specify the host name of the machine, so you know what to include there. Because if you forget all this, sorry will be your name, because you will start afresh. So let me just create a note and title it Kali Setup Information. So the first one is what? Host what? Name. Host name. My host name is going to be, my host name is, I can still use Kali. You can still use Kali. Kali, so my host name is, delete what you have there, don't add it to what's there. My host name is Kali. Are we there? So that is my host name. My host name is Kali. Now, if you look that, please wait till nobody should go ahead of me. You are still writing? Can I proceed? Now look up here, look up here, look up here. If you look at this particular section, there is an option that says what? Continue. And there is another one that says what? Go back, right? You are to go, right now, that continue is not selected. It's not selected. So how do I select that continue? Check your keyboard. There is a button they wrote what? TAB, tab. Somebody check their keyboard. Can you find it? Now, I want to watch now. Watch my own face before you do your own. Look at this. Can you see now? Where am I now? I have just selected what? The host name, right? If I press it again, I have what? Selected what? Go back. Where are we going to? Continue, right? I'll press again. Now, I'll make sure that what? The continue button is selected. You can see the red selection there, right? So make sure that it's highlighted like that before you press enter. So we can do it now. Use the tab. So if you are writing down your step, you write, use the tab button to select continue before pressing enter. Use the tab. Use the tab. Use the tab button on your keyboard to select continue before pressing enter. Have we done that? Now you press enter. You press the tab, be monitoring the selection. When you press it once, one of the items on the screen will be selected until when it's showing red background color. That is how you know that you have selected it. Are we together?
Okay.
Good. I'm waiting for you now. So I can press enter now. Now, once you press enter, there's another information. So we are still under configuring what? Network now. We have just supplied what? Our host name. So I will now write what? My domain name. If you like, don't document your own. No. When it's time now, you help me to. So I will write my domain. My domain what? Name. My domain name. My domain name is going to be NIIT. So you can choose your own. Whichever one. But please don't use capital letter because you might forget. Yes, you might forget. Don't use capital letter. Always make sure that your domain name is different from what? Your host name. Okay? But your Kali name can still be what? Your host name. After all, it's a Kali that is hosting. Now, I will type NIIT. And then use the same tab button to select what? Continue before pressing enter. Are we all there? Can we proceed? Yes, use the tab. Now you press enter. So you watch, you wait. Make sure you don't rush this because if you set up this wrongly, when other people will be running code later and be working, yours will not be working. That means you have to come back and start installation. So let's read through now. So we have moved from the aspect of configuring network. If you look at the title we are seeing now is what? Set up users and what? Password. So I'll go to my notes and write what? Username. Username. And what? Password. Username. If you like, forget your password. You are your own. I will not pity you at all. Now, your full name for new what? User. Your full name, my username is going to be Prosper. My username is Prosper, so I will type what? Prosper.
Username and post name must be.
No. This, please, all these names should be different. The only one that I replicated the same name was Kali. I will use Kali for what? The host name. But domain name and the what? The username should be different, please. So my username is what? Prosper. And then select continue so that you can specify what? The password. Don't use too strong password, please. We are not using this password to collect money. Don't go and start using special character. I'm warning you now so that it will not happen now. You now start slowing us down. Are we there now? So just use the same tab button to select continue and hit enter. Now it's asking you for what? Look at this. User for your account. The other was what? Username. Now is account. Use the same thing. It's allowed. Yes, for user accounts. No, I have not gotten to password. If you look at the description of where we are now, it says set up users and what? So we are still under user. Why did they use S? Because there are two. The first one was what? The domain what? User, which is that one that we have already typed what? Prosper. Now this one is asking for the account. So, and I said you can go ahead with the same what? Name. Yes, but you can still document it as what? User account. The other is what? Username. This one is what? User account, in case you are using different name. User account. My user account is the same thing as what? Prosper. Then use your tab and select continue and then press enter. Now, what is it asking now? Choose what? So we have passed the stage of what? Users. Now, we are now in what? Password. Now, let me explain something here. Peradventure, you use two different names. That place of user and what? User account. You use different words. The one that will be asked, will be requested for is what? The last one. Which is what? User account. The next time you launch this Kali, once we have finally installed it, it will pop up a text box asking you enter what? Username and what? Password. So if you forget these two information, that means what? You go from there. So now my password, I'm not afraid of anybody hacking my account. So I'm making my password open in case I forget so that you can help me out. My password is Eloho 123. My password is Eloho. Please don't use capital letter. My password is what? Eloho 123. Are we all together or I should wait? I should wait. Okay. All right. Password, like I said, my own is what? Eloho 123. Don't rush while typing your password. Now, I noticed that as I was typing, it was not typing, so I have to what? Use the tab button to make sure that you are in that particular box. It happens like that. So let me type it again. Hello. It has already encoded it as password what? Format. Hello 123. So this one is not measuring strength. It's just for practice. You can use it if you can remember, you can use it. So now you also use your tab to select what? Continue. Continue. And then press enter. Now it's asking us for confirmation. That same password you type it, you want to be sure that you are entering the same thing. Hello 123. Then use the same tab to select continue and hit enter. So I passed that stage. Now, where we are now, what? Set up what? Date, clock. Set up clock. I believe that is where you are. I hope you are writing your step. So now you can see now, you read what you have on the screen, and it says, if the desired time zone is not listed, so you know the application. So the step we are now is what? Set up what? Or configure what? The system clock or time. And just for you to know the application, that is what I'm reading out now. If the desired time zone is not listed, then please go back to the step, choose language, and select a country. So if you do not see any item listed, just like the way my own is, it means that what? You omitted one step. That place where it says you choose what? The language, where we choose English, right? That means you omitted that step. That is the advice is telling you. So there is correlation between this step and what? That step where we have to know. Now, select your time zone. you know, and even to an extent, we know how to install Windows. You understand this? Even your Microsoft window, when you are installing, if you install America time zone, you'll be seeing another time from Nigeria time. Once you switch the time zone to what? To Nigeria, the time of your system will automatically what? Set. So that is exactly what Kali is talking about. So now I work with what? The install or central or mount. Any one of them can actually give you the installation. You can just use the arrow button to select. Let me choose what? Central. And what? Press enter. So we are still on that step. Which step are we now? 30 what? 13 o'clock, right? Time, good. Now you can see that it's not loading what? Additional components regarding to that option. So wait, now starting up the what? The partitioner. That is what is missing in your own leader. Because you knew that if you could not find it, when you get to this step, it will not what? See any space to install it. Remember that we have done partition before in this class, right? Good. Now, if you remember, when we were setting up the Kali, there was a step that highlighted the minimum space you must have. And we chose 20 gig something, right? Now, within that space that you choose, how much of it do you want to use for Kali? So when you say what? Use the entire what? Look at the options I have here. Use the entire what? Disk is one, right? The other one say what? Guided. Use entire disk and set up what? Local virtual what? Machine. The other one says what? Use entire disk and set up what? Encrypted what? Local. The word encryption, I believe you now understand it. So we are going with the option that says use the entire. So the entire you are talking about is that 20 what? Gig that you defined the other time. So I don't want to partition it. Why would I partition it? And even you have enough space and you specify like 50 gig, then you can go with what? Any of those ones that says take certain space from the main space. So if you are writing your step, your next step is choose the partitioning method that says use entire disk. Your note. Choose the partitioning method that says choose entire disk. Choose what? Entire disk. Choose the partitioning method that says use entire what? Disk. And press enter. Now, it will now prompt you that space. What can you see there? 23. Good. Now, plus and minus is still added extra from what we specified. But now, this is you knowing the space you have allocated for your Kali to operate in the virtual what? Machine. Now, don't forget, that is the reason why we took our time to understand what is virtualization. And there was a key word that I used then, that even the virtual machine copied the characteristics of what? The physical machine. And what are the characteristics of what? Physical machine. Physical machine have a physical storage, right? Physical machine have what? Memory. So since this Kali is an image of a physical machine, you need to also define the storage. So that is the only option we have there. So we just select it and press what? Enter, right? Select it and press enter. Select it and press enter. So now, the moment you selected the what? The storage, which is now highlighted at the top. You can see it there to show that what? It has been acknowledged. Now, you now have what we call partitioning what? Scheme. Remember what we did there was what? So that's what? Partition what? Method, right? Now we are at partitioning scheme. So under partitioning scheme, we have how many options there? Somebody should look at that. We have what? The first option that says all file in one partition. And they have recommended that option for you and I from experience. The other one says what? Separate home partition. That is the root directory. So I am going with what? The first option. So if you are writing in your note, under partitioning scheme, choose the option that says, under partitioning scheme, choose the option that says all files in one partition. All files in one partition. All files in one partition. Are we together? And press enter. And press enter. Now you now watch. Are we all there now? Please, I don't want to be ahead of us. Good. So on the same page. So we now have, now, like I said, always read the screen guideline on any option. If you read now, where we are now is what? Partition what? This. And the description we have there is, this is what? An overview of your currently what? Configured partition. That's what? Everything that you have done. That is what they have listed now. Primary is what? Primary is 21 points. I don't know your own there. Right. And then I have what? Number 5, logical. That is out of the 23 points before. They have assigned one of the storage as the basic, and then leave 1.2 gigabytes for probably what? Running the disks. So we have two options there. If you are not okay with this breakdown, maybe maybe after looking at this, you now discover that no, this is too small. So I can say what? Undo what? Changes to what? Partition, and go and define the right one. But if I'm okay with this, I will just press what? The option that says what? Finish partitioning and write changes to what? Fix. So you are about committing all the file, all the configuration in that disk. So if you are writing your step, you write, select, in fact, just write, observe the breakdown and select the option that says finish partitioning and write changes to disk. Observe the breakdown and select finish partitioning and write changes to disk. And write changes to disk. The option that says finish partitioning and write changes to disk. So I press enter. Now, there is another information here to read, to understand, and it says, if you continue, the changes listed below will be written to what? To the disk. Otherwise, you will be able to make further what? Changes. The partition tables of the following devices are changed. The following partition, which is just like observing, just like, accepting the terms and what? Condition before it finally starts the entire commitment process. So now we have two options here. There is one that is already selected. If you mistakenly press enter, that means you are declining this option. So you have to use the tab to switch to what? Yes. Okay, so your next step is observe and use the tab button to select yes and press enter. Observe and switch and use the tab button to switch to yes and press enter. And press enter. Okay, so let me also press enter. Now you will now see, make sure you are observing what is going on. What can you see now? Installing what? The base system. So just keep watching and see what is going on. So I just hope that everything will go well. So just keep watching. We also read where we are now is what? Software what? Selection. So under software selection, what we have here is at the moment, only the core of the system is what? Installed. The default selection below will install Kali Linux with its standard desktop environment. So which means that what? You have not installed the user interface just like your window now where you have icon. But you have installed what? The background. So now you want to install an interface like that window where you have an icon. So that is what it's saying now. So now you look at the option you have here. Choose software to what? Install. So you will select the first one that says what? Desktop what? Environment. Then you can see that the asterisk, the first one is already marked what? With red background, which means that you are currently selecting that option. So just use your tab to select what? Use your tab to select continue and press enter. So you also wait, select and install software.
Sorry, I want to ask. Just because of the red color showing on the asterisk on first, we just have to make the tab to that one.
Which one was selected?
The asterisk was showing on the first one.
Yes, and I can see that your continue is already highlighted.
Yeah, I just speak on that.
Yes, you press enter.
So what if maybe someone maybe please
you use the arrow button to move down. You understand? If it doesn't move with the arrow button, you use the tab also. So the tab should be able to go around within that area. But I know that if the tab is used for choosing the option, then you may need to press enter so that it will leave that box to allow you to select what? Continue.
I'm trying to ask, is there
Yeah, if it's not on that first one, you want to select another one. Is that what you're saying?
But if maybe it's record is showing on another one, I will have text of development. Doesn't mean that this red colors has to be on the asterisk on the
Yeah, the first priority is from the list of the environments you want to what? Install. So the asterisk should be on one of them first before you consider the continuation button. Did you understand it? Let me see your screen, how it displays. Like I've not really answered your question.
What I'm trying to ask is, just with that this color now showing on this asterisk on this desktop there.
Was it showing there before?
It was showing there, but does it mean that it's been selected?
Yes. That's what I said. Yes, of course. So let's just wait for the lights to. Most of this, the bad guys are using it, and we have been making their ways. Yes. Yes. Select yes. So let me use someone's screen to following what is happening. So I click on yes. Let me see what you have. So how many options do you have? 2 options. Please, I need to see the option. Let me just bring your laptop closer. Let me just see it. Let me see it. I want to be sure of options so that we don't make mistakes. No, you have to use your arrow button to select that one that says Dev SDA. You have that option, right? Dev SDA. Oh yeah, I've already selected your. Just press enter. Click on the option Just use your arrow button. Don't go with the manual. Use your arrow button to select the second option. And click on enter. Okay, click enter. Let me see what comes up next. I'll bring it. Don't worry. This you have already noticed. So it's now, so what I'm seeing here is finishing the what? The installation. So this is the last aspect, finishing the installation. So you wait for this process to complete. Running updates. Is that what you have there? Or it's still at 23%? Okay. The percentage is that what I'm asking. It's my honor that's still at 34. Okay, let me just go through. This place is updating, have it? So what I have here is that please choose continue to reboot your system. Is that what you have? Yeah. So you can also write it down. So you select continue by pressing enter. Wait, like I'm waiting now. So once you click, it's starting the app. Yes, it's starting the app. Going to prompt you the login interface. So you can see, you see something like this. So this is the Kali logo. Mine is moving now. Thank God. You see, just hold on. Don't press anything. No. It's booting to the graphical interface. That's what we are installing now, after installing the core aspect of it. Now, you can see it now. Look up here. What is it asking for? Okay, it's on your own now. You're logging what? So you now know your name and what? Remember what I told you are going to be asked to supply. Yeah, take. So what is it asking for now? Username. You know the username? Oh yeah, let's confirm now. This is where we know those that we reinstall or have completed installation. Forget your password. You show password first. Are you sure? That was to your studio.